You've read the title, this isn't clickbait. Today is the last time you'll see me living here in Tokyo. It's time for me to finally reveal where I'll be moving to as we start the next chapter of my marathon monk journey. God, I cannot believe we're finally here 2.5 years later and I'm moving out of my Tokyo crib. I feel like I've been trying to do this for about the last 2 years, almost ever since I moved here. I mean, Tokyo's cool, I feel like to visit, but living here long term, especially as a runner, it's not exactly the best place on earth. You've heard me complain enough about the traffic lights, the congestion, the lack of parks, running spaces. It's not exactly ideal when you're trying to knock out 250k weeks. And obviously the big reason for moving is that I want to try and get some training partners because I've pretty much for the last 1.5 years been completely solo. So wherever I move, the big factor was going to be, can I join a team? Can I train with some weapons out there who are going to be quicker runners than me and hopefully help me unlock that next level? Well, geez, it's been a mission, but finally I've got there. Everything's finally sorted and I'm officially moving out of Tokyo on Monday. I'm enjoying my last few days here, taking it all in, because very soon I will be moving to a undisclosed location, which I'll be revealing very soon, but this change is going to be massive. Easily the biggest game changer in my running journey so far. But now it's time to face my arch nemesis for one final time. So today I'm down at the Wadabori track for the last time. Thank God, never want to see this place again. You know how much I hate the speed work, but to be fair, here is where I leveled up from the ultimate cart horse to maybe having 1 or 2 fast switch fibers. Over my time in Tokyo, I've tried to avoid this place as much as possible, but still got some decent speed work in, and today is the final rip. But yeah, as tracks go, this one is a bit of a beauty. And today I'm thinking we're a few days after that 30k shakeout, the Tokyo Marathon. My legs were pretty banged up afterwards, like the old thighs, classic stuff. So I'm not sure quite how I'm gonna be feeling today. Just done a few sort of easy jogging days, get that nice recovery, and the knee's doing all right, so that's the main thing. My knee doesn't hurt. So it seems going from nothing to a flat out 30k effort was just what I needed for my patella tendonitis. And it's good as new now. But how about my overall conditioning going into today's 400 meter reps? In terms of the pace of the actual reps though, I'm not too sure. I'm gonna aim for maybe 70 to 68 or so, that kind of range. Maybe 2 and a bit weeks back before this knee injury, I'd have said like 66, 67s maybe. But it's gonna take me a little bit of time still to come back. I'm not exactly in my sharpest state right now. But that's enough chat. It's time for me to unleash the cart horse on Wadabori for the final time. Let's get it. So I ended up knocking out 20 by 400 in 70 seconds with a 30-second jog recovery, and this was close to a flat-out effort. It's quite mad that only 1 month ago, I was knocking out 3k intervals at the same pace. Oh man, that was brutal. I've taken a pretty big step back. It looks like about 5 to 10 seconds a K on my kind of session paces. I've always been this way, that I can lose fitness, lose shape so quickly. A couple down weeks and it's like I just reset completely. Hopefully that I can gain the shape back equally as quickly. Well, at least I banked a solid-ish session. I mean, it's a start. Getting back there just about. And I guess that is the final sayonara to Wadabori. Not the most successful one to go out with, but at least I got to say a final goodbye. And I've got an even more significant one of those farewells to give right now. So yeah, I can't believe I'm finally saying goodbye to this apartment. This is where the Ran to Japan journey all began. And wait, hold up. What's that I can hear in the background? That beat can only mean one thing. It's finally time. Punchlines is coming out of retirement. The music game will never be the same again. Let's go.
Touchdown, I got bars on my phone like the bars when I rap, never partial or slow. Yo, from the start I was cold, now I'm sharp with the flow, no charge when I roam. eSIMs are a smart way to go, leave your physical sim in the past, let it go. Use code RAN to Japan 3 when you download, error low, fast way to load, no drip feed signal, data on tap. Straight off the plane, await when I land. Looks to deceive and made it my brand, even though I'm a Brit, I'm the face of Japan. Local to global, state in my zone, in different countries, same way I roam. Shout out, error low, that's the move, from music to culture, no, I'm in tune. I don't wait in line, but my line's fast, like I'm running laps, the way I'm flying past. Going overseas, call it high class, all these roaming fees, getting bypassed. Buzz aboard in a booth everywhere I go, now you know the name, say it with me. Error Ran to Japan 3, yeah, there's your code, activate your eSIM on arrival, there you go, whoa.
So I'm on the way now to the Shibuya ward office. This is one of the final steps on my checklist of moving out. I'm officially submitting my move out form, all of that, but man, this whole process has been an absolute nightmare. I mean, people say moving house is tricky normally. Now imagine doing it all in a language you barely speak a word of and can't read or write anything. Then you add on top of that the fact that Japan's actually one of the least advanced technological countries on earth. I think people have got this image that everything's super futuristic here. It couldn't be more the opposite. I mean, they still use bloody fax machines in some businesses. Everything's like paper-based and like proper old school. I guess they were advanced back in the 90s, but then nothing's changed since then. So now it's just, yeah, trying to sort everything, just endless documents, paperwork that I can barely understand a thing. I think people massively overestimate my Japanese abilities from these videos. Literally all of my Japanese mates are runners, so I can chat about that and of course food all day. But ask me anything outside of that and it's game over. All right, mission accomplished. It wasn't too bad to be fair this time, but yeah, I'm all sorted, all good, ready to move out. I can't believe I'm finally upgrading from the tiny little apartment, but actually right now I'm absolutely starving, so my priority is to get some scran in. So I linked up with fellow running creator Josh Fothergill and his wife, and there can't be many other ginger Brits living out in Asia and chasing the running dream. So it's fair to say we stand out a little. We hit up a classic sushi spot, but I had to challenge him to the only unpalatable Japanese scran I've ever tasted. Shiokara, rotten squid guts, my arch nemesis.
Right, here we go.
Let's give it a go. Scran to Japan segment.
It doesn't smell too bad.
Give it a good chew.
That is wild.
What do you reckon? You give it a 7 out of 10.
It's so hard.
Keep chewing, keep chewing.
That's the worst thing I've had here.
yeah. It's so bad, isn't it?
Oh, that's disgusting.
I can't go over you scored it a 7.
Squid guts. 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10 is pretty good.
Is it too good?
It's literally a gut. It's like rotten. Give it a score. What were you saying?
1.
It's
solid 1.
unscorable.
Unscorable.
So yeah, if you thought natto was bad, this shiokara is 100 times more powerful. Good luck to anyone brave enough to attempt it. Now, of course, the hardest goodbye in Tokyo is the one and only Yoyogi Park. You little beauty. Man, back in the day when I arrived here, this was the greatest running spot on earth. It had it all. You got the trail around the edge, you had the 1K loop in the middle, the 2K road one. Any kind of session, any easy run had you covered. And I remember I exclusively for an entire year did every single session right here at this park. Just knocking out those endless loops with my Japanese mates. I went from a 2:37 marathoner to 2:17, all thanks to Yoyogi itself. It's now an absolute shell of its former self. All this construction going on, they've killed 95% of the running routes here. You can still kind of do a little bit of easy running in here, but it's not the same. It seems like it's been going on for about 2 years straight now, so maybe when I eventually come back here, I'll get to see the finished product. I'm waiting for that Ran to Japan statue. I'm sure that's what they're building in the middle. That's why it's taking so long. They have to honor the promotional work I've done for this place. I feel like the first year on YouTube, every single time I'd feature some kind of Yoyogi session. And now everyone that I meet that comes to Japan, they're like, yeah, I've come to Yoyogi after watching your videos. This really is the place where the Marathon Monk journey all began. Right here, Yoyogi Park. What a send-off. I never thought the day would come. So everything's got to come down, from the Racing Across Japan map, which I've done a pretty good job at completing. Still a few more little prefetches here and there, but I put in a good shift so far, as well as the endless numbers, certificates, and random flags just covering the walls. This is the ultimate runner's shrine. Pure dedication to the marathon gods. So you can see we've got a bit of a different backdrop to use right now. Everything's gone. Give the full room tour now. This is the 20-meter squared apartment. I'm upgrading now. We'll show you the house soon, but I think it's about 90 meters squared, so should be a nice little change from here. Took me a while. I remember when I moved here, I was like, oh, I don't know where to live. And I thought, I need to be near Yoyogi Park. That was the only criteria. I didn't care where I live. I was like, I need to train there every day. Managed to find this crib and it's done me wonders. So with my sayonaras complete, it's time to finally find out where I'll be moving to. So there was basically two options of where I was going to go. It's either going to be Yamagata, where the ND Soft team are based, or Hamamatsu, where Suzuki live. And those are the two teams that I've trained with before. So I had that summer training camp with Suzuki. They're all legends. You remember up in the mountains of Nagano? And then recently I've had some training camps with ND Soft out in Chiba, you know, by the seaside. Actually ripping some speed stuff with them. And I put out that video last year where I went on a sort of trial, get a feel for the area. And I lived for about a week or so in both places to get a proper vibe for it. And finally now, I've come to the decision where I'm going to be based. So they're two completely different areas. You've got Hamamatsu, a sort of medium-sized city, and then Nanyo up in Yamagata, this tiny little village. And also I had to think about the actual training styles, the team, the vibe, all of that kind of thing. But I guess now it's time to hit the station, jump on a train and find out where I will be moving to. This is a monumental moment. So I grabbed a classic station bento box and settled in for a long old journey. Now as we head out of Tokyo and the urban jungle turns into a frozen wilderness, you should be able to guess where we're heading. It's up north. 3 hours on the bullet train to a tiny town with no foreigner in sight and nothing to do but rack up the mileage. Oh, here we go. Oh yes, Nanyo City, home of the mighty ND Soft running team, who you're going to be seeing a whole lot more of this year. I'm going full marathon monk mode, leaving the big city behind and settling down here to train full time with these guys as an unofficial team member. Even though I'm not part of the company or anything, the coaches have kindly allowed me to join in all their sessions and training camps as if I was on the roster, and the boys have all welcomed me right in. This is the perfect setup for me, where I still have the freedom to do YouTube and document my running without the tight restrictions of a Japanese company, but I still get what's most important to me, a group of unreal training partners who are going to pull me along to much quicker times. It's like everything up until now in Japan has just been the prologue. This is where the real Ran to Japan journey starts. My plan when I quit my job in the UK 2.5 years ago to move out here was to join an elite team straight away and learn firsthand from the coaches how the Japanese have become one of the greatest marathon nations on earth, with more sub-210 runners than every Western country put together. Well, that's easier said than done. And I quickly found out Japan really is one of the most closed off places to outsiders. So instead of experiencing the training methods firsthand, I ended up following along to Japanese books containing marathon plans from the 1970s. I've tried non-stop ever since arriving to join an Ekiden team, but after getting rejected from my university one due to their straightforward no foreigner policy, I knew this would be a battle of attrition. Well, all that graft has finally paid off, and it seems I've been accepted into the group here. I've got to give a shout out though to my old Yoyogi Park training partners. For the first year in Japan, I'd wake up before 5 AM to join this group of salarymen on their endless laps of mental warfare. Eventually I had to move on to take that next step in performance, and it was the Suzuki team who next welcomed me into their summer training camp and actually offered me the same unofficial team member option as ND Soft. I'm sure I'm going to link up again with them in the future, but for now it's time to embrace this Nanyo adventure. So there's a whole lot more to come on this channel. We're only just getting started. All aboard for the ride. But this has been Jake with Ran to Japan. I'll catch you in the next one. Remember, train harder, not smarter.